What's going on, YouTube family? So the latest on that Minnesota assassination of the political legislators there in Minnesota, they caught the guy. It looks like they sent out the A team to get this one right, so that's pretty interesting. And but thank God they did catch him. They found a manifesto, but they're not releasing details of that, right? And that's pretty interesting. I can only imagine what would be in that manifesto. Samson. Yeah, he done took off. Oh, let's see if I can keep up with him. I was trying to like stay in the shade a little bit. It's kind of hot out here today. so, but so yeah, they caught the guy and they released some security footage, and he was wearing a Walter White mask from Breaking Bad, and looks like he had a uniform on, security uniform and a cruiser, right? So he played the part for sure. And they haven't released details of the manifesto. I really would like to know what's in there. I have my opinions, right? And coming from one who used to be, part of an organized criminal thing back in the days, that's what I went to federal prison. Well, I went to federal prison for armed bank robbery, but we were all part of something. So, so I kind of, I put my criminal boss or mob hat on and try to see this thing from that kind of lens. So the the shootings themselves, that was pre-planned. That wasn't just some spur of the moment. I'm mad at somebody, let me go do this. No, that was already pre-planned, and we're just waiting on the green light to go execute it, right? There's no doubt in my mind about that. I know how these things go down, right? And on top of it, when you see the motive behind it, it's clear as day. Melissa Holman, I believe her name, Horman, may she rest in peace, her and her husband. She has sided with the Republicans, and they voted down a bill for health care for the illegal immigrants. And she went against her party lines, and that ultimately is what cost her life. And so, to me, this is just somebody behind the scenes, of course. They wanted to send a message to the rest of the Democratic political body there in Minnesota that they better pretty much do what they're told to do, or these are the kind of consequences they're facing. And I know, they all, yeah, this is how these things go, right? So, I mean, you can call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, right? I don't mind. I'm not a fool when it comes to stuff like this. I know they don't just, it's not happenstance. You don't just go at a sitting senator and congressional members in the state house of a political legislation in Minnesota. That's not a random thing. That was an organized hit. So apparently the guy they caught, Vance, right? Bowler, I believe his last name is. He was appointed actually by two governors, two sitting governors. The one before Tim Walz. Tim Walz appointed him. So this guy is obviously connected to whatever behind the scenes powers that control the Democratic Party there in Minnesota, okay? That's clear as day, I mean, you can just connect the dots on that. So I'm more interested in who organized and executed, gave the green light for the hit, right? The shooter himself, he's just an assassin. He just got to go ahead to do what he went and did, of course. But I don't believe he was the mastermind behind it, right? That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I've watched too many mob-style movies in my lifetime, right? No, we was out here living that kind of life, so I know how these things go down in that underworld lifestyle, right? I'm long removed from it, but trust me, the principles are still there, you know. Um, so that's why I just offer my humble opinion on the matter. And they found him with the No King's Day flyers in his car. So I mean, the whole thing just has dirty business written all over it, you know. And I just one that I want to keep my eye on because to me this just shines more light into the Democratic Party, that entity as a whole. In my in my lens, my opinion, I see that party as being ruled and reigned by a demonic power over it, right? So it's no surprise that because Melissa going against her party and voted down the healthcare bill for illegal immigrants, she broke ranks, right? And she paid for that with her life. And that's really to send a message to the rest of the Democratic Party within Minnesota that they better not break ranks, right? So I would not want to be a legislator in Minnesota because I cannot imagine living under that threat, you know, and I'm having to vote against what I know to be wrong, you know, or so that's a shame. So prayers out for them, right? It's just like I said, it's just to me this is just one more thing to shed light on this party as being the demonic thing that it is, right? And so hopefully this may wake others up to this party as being like something is going on within the DNC as a whole, right? And with their agendas and their policies, you know, taking the side of the illegal immigrants, defending lawlessness, lying about Joe Biden, that cover up, just the whole thing. I mean, you can run down the list of it, right? So yeah, it's pretty interesting times we're living in. So the weekend, it went off really without a hitch, you know, so thank God for that. It didn't go as bad as some might have assumed that it would. So, shout out to law enforcement for that, for being, a deterrence, right? And so I guess they tried to go into Southwest Detroit and make a little noise, and that got shut down real quick, right? Because like I said in the video, we don't play that here in Michigan, and definitely in Detroit. So they try to get a little rowdy, and that got shut down real quick, you know. so, so shout out to them boys down in Detroit, man. Detroit's finest as well. Shout out to y'all, and just shout out to us, all throughout Michigan, man. We keep it tight. We run a tight ship here in my state. So, and I'm proud. I'm proud of that right there. All right, so that's all I got on this one. Everybody have a blessed and wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Hit me with a like, hit me with a sub, and leave a comment. I welcome it all. Thanks for watching.